Okay, so we're going to talk about in 3.3 factoring trinomials. So before we've been factoring polynomials that all had 4 terms, right? We had something like x to the 4th plus 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 8x or something like that. And we had those 4 terms. But today we're going to talk about trinomials. So that means we've got 3 terms. Okay, so if you go look at some of these examples down here, notice they all have 3 terms instead of 4. Okay, and one thing we just need to review really quick before we start this is standard form for quadratic functions. So standard form, remember, is your highest exponent to your lowest exponent. So x squared will always come first, plus bx plus c. Okay, and a, b, and c are just the numbers that are in front of those x's, or in c, it's your constant. Okay, so our steps for factoring are really similar to 3.2 factoring. The first one we're going to do is check for a GCF. If we have a GCF, you're going to pull it out. So divide it away if you have one. Your second step is you're going to find A, B, and C. Okay, so this is your A, B, and C from your standard form. Third step, we need to multiply A times C. And our fourth step is we're going to find 2 numbers that multiply to our AC value and add up to B. So remember, in the very first week when we were doing all those tables of things that multiply to this and add up to this, this is where we're going to use that. Okay, so whatever we get for A times C, we need to multiply to that and then add up to our B value. All right, so now here's where the steps differ on box method or grouping. So if you're doing the box method, your next step is going to be to draw your box. Okay, and remember, your first term goes in the first box, and your last term goes in the last box. Okay, first in the first, last in the last. And then these 2 right here are going to be the 2 numbers from step 4. You're going to fill those in right there. And then you're going to have an x or whatever variable on there. So what you're really doing is these 2 are replacing our bx term that we had in our original function. So if you add these 2 together, they should add up to bx. Okay, so first in the first, last in the last, and then the 2 numbers that you found that multiply to AC and add up to B go in those 2. Okay, and then last step is to find your sides and write your answer. Okay, now most people do prefer this box method, but I'm going to go over the other one as well because there are a few people who like that one. That one's called by grouping. Okay, and again, it doesn't matter which one you use, you'll get the same answer either way. So if you're doing by grouping, your step 5 is going to be replace bx, so your middle term, with your 2 numbers from step 4. So these 2 numbers are going to be from step 4, and then you're going to have the x at the end of them. Okay, and then 6, just factor like normal. So make your groups factoring, finish factoring, split it up into your groups, pull out your GCFs, and do that. Okay, so again, either way, do whichever way you prefer, whichever one makes more sense to you. Now, a trinomial is prime and cannot be factored if there is not two numbers that multiply to AC and add to B. So if your step 4 doesn't work, then that means it's prime and you cannot factor it. Okay, so you can't go on. So that means that you're just done right there.